but just in case people kind of want to see what we usually do. But for those of you who haven't been on this call before, this is just something that I try to do once a month. That's for coaches, customers, whoever who are part of our groups, who are part of the community, who just are trying to go in the right direction with their nutrition and their fitness. Obviously, we have the group, which is really fun and awesome and amazing. But sometimes being on the call and connecting with other people and hearing that they're struggling with the same things that you're struggling with, or they have the same goals that you have. Obviously, it makes it a lot more fun when we have a bunch of people get on, but it's still beneficial even if there's only a few of us. So I will go first, just to give you guys some time to think. I know sometimes people have got to think a little bit about it. Some of you guys are just like, I'm ready to share. But basically and not every person has to go. If you're not comfortable with going and you just kind of want to watch from the sidelines and hear people talk about stuff, that's totally fine. I never make anybody talk. But I do like at least for 3 of us to share, and not including me, just because then it makes it better, the fact that we're on here. So I just want you to share a goal that you have for October, like what is your focus, and then what do you think is going to be your biggest struggle? And a lot of times the goal and the struggle tends to go together. Like if your goal is, I want to cut back on alcohol in October, which is one of the, my goals, my struggle will be the traveling and the football season and all of those things. So, and then of course at the end or during, there's no like perfect order of this. This is just like a fun little chat. If you guys have any questions about anything, maybe the program that you're doing, a question about, I need help with this with nutrition or personal development or literally anything at all, you are more than welcome to ask. So I'll go first, and then if someone wants to go second and third and fourth, or if everybody wants to share, that's totally fine. But like I said, for me, my goal for October is definitely going to be cutting out alcohol. I don't want to cut it out completely. I did that before for 80 Day Obsession, and I do recommend you trying it at least once. So shout out Jaslyn, I know that you're doing it. I did it for 80 Day Obsession. That was 13 weeks. Not that I like need alcohol, but I do it very socially and whatnot. And I recommend that you try it at least once for one program, even if it's just like the 21-day fix. But I'm just cutting down and just trying to aim to drink one time a week. So I'm going to be really challenged this week going to a leadership event with Beachbody. That's like something I've been wanting to go on for 6 years. But I'm going to try to do my best, the best I can. And my struggle is definitely going to be traveling. For those of you who don't know, I'm moving to Seattle and I'm going to be leaving on November 4th. So just the end of October is going to be moving and craziness, and we're not going to have a house to live in from the 28th to the 4th. We're going to be like living in an Airbnb, which will still be easy. I can still pack and whatnot, but I'm not going to really be able to like meal prep. I'm only going to have what the Airbnb has. So that should be interesting. But that's really what I'm going to focus on. And what I plan on doing to do that is just checking into the group. I'm so adamant about you guys checking into the group. And when I'm struggling, when I'm craving something, like nothing helps me more than just going in the group and being like, when you guys don't feel like working out and you post in the group and like, all right, I don't feel like working out today, and everybody gives you that little boost. So I always recommend doing that. So that's me. Who wants to share? And for those new people that have hopped on, we're just sharing, and again, you don't have to share, but a goal that you have for the month of October. And then something that you feel like might be a struggle. And then obviously I am, or anybody else can offer advice if they want. Who wants to go second? Somebody's going to go. I'll just stare awkwardly into the camera. Jaslyn, you go.
I was just going to say, I'll go. You do great. So not that like it was a goal I had before. I mean, I'm doing the no drinking thing, but one of the goals that I now have after doing this 1 week is making sure that I eat more. One of my tendencies is sorry, I've had a really long day.
Well, okay, you're allowed to cry. This is a safe space. You know that.
One of the things is I know that I go either from really, really like eating all of it to not eating at all. And so one of my things so far is if I don't feel like I did my workout well enough or something like that, I subconsciously, this is something I have to work through and I have been, but I kind of punish myself by not eating so much because I didn't do as well. I didn't do so great, so I probably shouldn't try to take in those calories, and I'm seeing that it's having that mental effect on me again. So making sure that I have my carbs in the morning and some stuff to actually like sustainable. So if I either forget or I'm like punishing myself or something. So PD is also another thing I'm really working towards, getting more personal development about not just business, but like mental health and all that. So kind of getting back to the basics is a really big thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
That I didn't know I was starting. It wasn't my original goal, but now I am after changing my stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And that I see that happen all the time where people, and I find that when you start to try to level up, whether just in your fitness or your nutrition or your just overall life, things come up in different ways. So this could be something that's just like leftover emotion from something that's coming up that making you feel like you have to be better than the person that you were, and then you have to like become this crazy amazing person, and the only way to do it is to like reach all these goals like with your health and fitness, which obviously reaching for goals is totally fine. But I think the important thing to remember when it comes to something like that is like, for me, especially being someone that struggled with an eating disorder, is that when those like thoughts come up, you want to like recognize them and what's the word I'm trying to think of? It's like the word recognize, but I can't think of the word. I'm so bad at vocabulary right now. I have a crazy long day too, but it's just saying that, like, yes, acknowledge. There we go. Thanks, guys. Acknowledge that you're having, because going through therapy and doing all these things, when you have emotions, and you can apply this, anybody can apply this to any situation. When you have like a negative emotion come up, a lot of times while we're trying to be more positive, we try to just like push it away and be like, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to feel that. No, I shouldn't feel that. And it's better to acknowledge that you're having that feeling and know that it's okay, it's normal. And then either do like a little quick journal on it. You don't have to like go and like sit for an hour and write, but sometimes I'll just pop open I used to do this. I would pop open the notepad section of my phone and just write like what I was feeling and why I was feeling that way. And it's good to just kind of acknowledge it. Gabby Bernstein talks about the choose again method all the time, where it's like you have a feeling come up, you recognize that you've chosen fear, you've recognized that you've chosen to beat yourself up, you've recognized that you've chosen whatever, and then you say, I choose again. And you choose whatever good feeling you want to feel, whether it's joy or it's love or it's whatever. And know that, remind yourself, doing the program that you're doing 6 weeks of the work. This is my 31st Beachbody program. This is the hardest program Beachbody has ever come out with. So you're not gonna do this program the best. You know what I mean? And the fact that you're doing this, and this is only like, I don't know, maybe your 4th or your 5th Beachbody program, like that's badass. Like this program is really, really hard. So just remind yourself of like, when you have those feelings, like think about what you can celebrate and remind yourself that you don't have, beating yourself up is not going to get you, where you want to go, which I know you know all these things, but just a reminder. So awesome. Thanks for sharing. Who wants to go next? All we're doing is just sharing a goal and a struggle. Mic on my laptop is broke. Sue says, my mic on my laptop is broken, but my goal is to hit my goal weight of being down 35 pounds this month. You go, girlfriend. I love it. I'm 5 pounds away and so close. My struggle is that our anniversary was this past weekend. My birthday is next weekend. Halloween parties are coming up. So there's going to be a lot of treats and drinking. I want to still enjoy the treats, but make healthy choices the rest of the time. So this is such a good thing to bring up, because I know that everybody's probably struggling with something like this. As we go through to the end of the year, like right now where we are is like the sweet spot. It's like, maybe you have a birthday, and then it's Halloween, and then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas. You want to try to remember that the holidays are just one day. Now, of course, you may have a few parties, but if you really, really struggle with nutrition and you haven't checked out our program, the nutrition program, To Be Mindset, I highly recommend that you do that, because it's very, very geared towards letting you understand that you can have that freedom when it comes to these things. Again, being someone who struggled with an eating disorder in the past, the best thing you can do when you go into Halloween parties and you go to the Thanksgiving and you go to Christmas and you go to the Christmas parties is to make sure that you don't focus on restricting, and tell yourself, I'm going to go to this party and I can't have any candy. I can't have any bad food. Okay, I'm going to go to Thanksgiving and I'm going to have one plate. I'm going to go to this Christmas party and I'm not going to look at any of the desserts. If you go into that, it's like a toddler that wasn't playing with a toy, and then you told it that it couldn't have the toy, and it was like, wait, I want it now. You know what I mean? Like, you want the thing that you say you can't have, even if, it wasn't even that big of a deal. So one, it is scientifically proven that 3 bites of something can satisfy a craving. Now, I'm not the kind I don't want you to like restrict yourself to 3 bites. If you want to end up having 3 pieces of pumpkin pie, obviously that's not going to necessarily help you reach your goals, but you can't stress yourself out about those things. But what I like to do is if I'm going to a party and I know there's going to be, food there that's not on my meal plan, I'll have a little bit of each thing. That's going to be so much more satisfying than you saying, I can't have anything. I can't have anything. I can't have anything. Because we're human beings. Like, we're supposed to enjoy these things. It's just about the balance. And you'll end up realizing, because you're either going to go down one of 2 roads. You're going to say, I can't have anything, and I'm going to just try to be perfect when I go to this party. You're going to go, and the whole time you're going to want everything. And then maybe you even do avoid eating anything at the party. But you go home, you get home, and it's midnight, and you raid your kitchen, and you eat 10 times more things than you ever would have eaten at the party, because it'll always catch up to you. Or you go down the road of saying, I'm going to do my best. Like 2B Mindset talks about veggies first, water most. Drink your water, try to eat some vegetables if they're there, and then have a little bit of something. Like if I want something, I'll split something with my fiance, and I'll have a little bit of something. And then you've satisfied the craving. You didn't overeat, and you're good to go. And then you go home and you move about your day, and you don't beat yourself up about the fact that you had those things. So just keep that in mind as you're going through those, these next few weeks or even to the end of the year, that you can have those things. It's about balance, not restriction. And I know it might be really hard for those of you who are like, I really want to reach my goals. But yes, if you think about it as, of course, if you didn't eat any of those things ever, you'd probably reach your goals. But do you want to be miserable and restricting and not happy the whole time? Or do you want to have balance and, get to your goals, but it might take, a little bit longer? Because remember, at the end of the day, we're not trying to like lose 5 pounds in one day. So anyway, I just wanted to cover that because I feel like that would be helpful for a lot of people. Thanks for sharing, Sue. Somebody else who wants to share your goal, or something you might struggle with in the next month.
Hi. Did I mute myself? Okay. So one of the things that I really want to focus on is like my nutrition, because I work at Sam's Donuts and Coffee, and there's donuts in my face all day.
Yeah.
All day. And then they're like, oh, you got to try it. So I try to just take a quarter piece, and then I go, here, girls, have the rest. And then another thing that I want to overcome is like my own like insecurities, like with my body, because I had this coworker, and it's a male coworker, and he just like, I'm his supervisor, but he was like pushing my buttons at work. It was so bad the other day. It was like, oh, you have big shoulders. Oh, you have so much strength. Oh, this is that. But like over and like at first I was like, ha ha ha, whatever, But it like escalated, and I'm like, and I said, I probably said a few things that I shouldn't have said.
Well, I probably would have too, so.
Yeah. And so, we talked about it, said sorry, whatever. And I'm like, but I feel like I have to find like some PD that maybe would help me to kind of just not react, because I tried not to, but then it just like, I blew up.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of, was he physically touching you, or was he talking about it?
No, he was talking, but he like kept
I thought he was like physically touching you. I was like, girl, you don't need PD for that. You need to drop kick his ass. But yeah, so a book I highly recommend if you kind of have a quick reactions to situations, people, relationships, your own emotions. The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's not old school, but it's an older book, but I think everybody should read it. It's so beneficial. It talks about these 4, like basically, I guess, like pillars that you can focus on throughout your life, about like not taking things personally, not assuming things. It's really, really great for that. And I know I have very, very bad anger problems. And more so comes from my anxiety. A lot of people, when they get anxiety, they like cry or they get upset. Mine is straight up anger. So that book helped me so much. And because you can, at the end of the day, you can't control how other people talk about you or say things, but you can always control how you react. Doesn't mean it makes the other person's behavior okay, right. But just, being able to say, okay, I can't control what this guy or this girl, whoever's going to say, but I can control how I react. So I would recommend something like that. And in terms of like, self-esteem, that's just really going to come from, personal development. There is, I think I have, this book is really great. Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. that's great for like if you struggle with eating disorders. Like in the back it talks about like health, fear and phobias, friendships, self-esteem, issues with money, issues with intimacy, addictive behaviors. Like this book is really great. This is actually the workbook, but it's by Louise Hay. And I highly, 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 highly recommend that book. That can definitely help with that as well. And then I'm sure I don't know if anybody knows any podcasts. I can't think of any off the top of my head that would be like good for that. I think Gabby Bernstein might have one, but those would be my suggestions.
Things. I do have her book.
Okay, yeah. I'm reading her book, Super Attractor, right now, and it's so good. Love her. Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else want to share goals, struggles?
Hello.
Hi. What's up, girl?
My goal this month is to be more consistent because after so I did like two and a half straight months of programs and working out in the spring, and then when my semester ended, I just sort of dropped. Like I was so exhausted.
Yeah.
It's been a really hard year for me. I lost my brother last May, so it's been a journey of me picking myself up to make myself better, and I'm 10 times better than I was a year ago. But when school ended, I was just had no motivation, and the last 6 days I've done 5 workouts.
Yeah.
I think for me it's the struggle to be motivated. Like I was getting back from my internship and I was having a lot of anxiety, and I was like, when I get back, I'm going to just sit on the couch and cry. And then I looked at the time and I said, oh no, I got to get my workout in so I can get on this call.
Yeah.
So right as I finished the workout, I hopped onto this. Yeah, so I'm struggling with motivation, and then I'm not getting the most positive feedback around me. Like, I mean, I have to deal with this myself, but my boyfriend's been kind of like superstitious about the workouts I'm doing, because a few years ago I lost a lot of weight. I was running 3 miles every day and then doing a HIIT workout on top of it, and I dropped a ton of weight in like 2-3 months, and I gained it all back. And he's like, well, why don't you run and then do this? I'm like, but I don't want to run. I want to do these workouts. And he's like, you don't start burning fat until like 25 minutes into a workout. And I'm like, let me focus on let me focus on what I want to do.
Yeah.
Do what I want to do. I'll work out. I have a good community around me.
Yeah.
I was trying to show him, like, look at all these girls, look at how great they're doing. And he's like, that doesn't mean you're going to get the same effect, and it's not going to be as quick. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
I'm struggling with that.
Yeah, and that's tough. And that's something that a lot of people do struggle with. It's just that not everyone necessarily thinks that you can get results from an at-home program. The biggest thing is that at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to change his mind by like telling him and not that you have to show him, but in the sense of like, that's going to be the only way that, somebody who doesn't believe in at-home programs are going to be able to see that. So it's that consistency, like you said, and doing a program truly from start to finish, and making sure that your nutrition is, in line with that as well. Because the workouts that we have are really amazing. And also you have to remember that, as we get older, like at the moment you hit 25, our bodies stop producing HGH, which is human growth hormone. That's the reason why people under 25 can, like when you're 18, you can eat like 25 pizzas, or most people can, and then your body just continues to burn it. But that's like the thing that like helps your body grow, and you have these growth spurts, and it literally burns off of you. But once you hit 25, your body stops producing that, so it gets harder to do the things that you did the year before and 2 years before and 3 years before. And the reason why you probably got really great results with running 3 miles and doing a HIIT workout, which is a lot, doing that, and again, when you're older, sometimes can be too much for the body. So your body can produce cortisol, which is a stress hormone that causes fat gain. So doing those things may have worked before, and not saying they wouldn't work again, but they probably worked because you were doing them consistently. It's like if you take doing the running for 3 miles and the HIIT workout and doing it every day, and then doing your workout program every day consistently, you probably get similar results depending on, what workout program that you're doing. And again, if your nutrition is there. But so just keep that in mind, and just keep your blinders on. So you're doing a great job in the group. You're engaging in the group. So stay connected to the group. Keep engaging with them. In terms of motivation, I don't know if anybody on here has a book or podcast or something that they know that really helped them with motivation. The two that pop up in my head is T is for Transformation by Shaun T. I really, really like his book. He's obviously really, he has the really amazing workout programs, but his book is really inspiring, and he's very motivating. So the book is very motivating. And he just tells you a story and his struggles and all the things he's been through, which is like mind blowing. So that's really great. And in terms of like actionable items that you can use to say, okay, when I'm not feeling motivated, what can I do to make me motivated? Highly recommend any of Mel Robbins' books, because they're all like get you super fired up. But her book, The 5-Second Rule, yes, 5-Second Rule is so beneficial, because it was created in the beginning to help you do this 5-second rule, count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then get yourself out of bed in the morning instead of hitting snooze. But I apply it to, like, if I'm on my phone and I notice, like, oh my God, I've literally been scrolling, I will literally go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and put my phone down. And the book talks about it more in detail. But like, if you're sitting on the couch and, because when our brains go to make a decision, I think it's called the hippocampus, but I totally could be making that up because it's like the only brain word that I know. But there's a part of our brain that's the decision-making part of our brain. And when we go to make a decision, we have like this 5-second window that if we sit too long, then we go in limbo of should I not? And if that moment that you have that feeling of should I work out, and then you just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and stand up and go do your thing, it sounds so silly, but it works. And she talks about the science behind it. It's not just like this like hippy dippy thing. It's just doing that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 when you have that like should I do it, should I not do it, and then just like go do your workout. Now I don't know your schedule, but I always recommend to my people who are, I'm always going to recommend you do it first thing in the morning, because that makes it super easy. You're done, it's out of the way. If you can't do it early in the morning and you're going to do it after work, I recommend taking your workout clothes with you, your whatever you need to work out with you. Maybe even before you leave for work or school, you set up your workout situation so when you get home, it's the first thing you do. Because I know a lot of people want to go home and they want to sit on the couch, or they just want to make dinner. But and especially these workouts, like they're 20, 30 minutes tops. You go in, you get them done, and it's done, and then you can have the rest of your night for yourself. So those are just some of my recommendations. It sounds like everybody else is recommending 5-second rule right now. Yeah. And also Style Your Mind podcast. Yes. Anything that has to do with like reworking your brain. Cause sometimes we beat ourselves up, and also remind yourself to give yourself grace. You're going through a lot of stuff. You had a tough past year. Obviously school can be really stressful. Always, you want to motivate yourself, but you also want to remind yourself that like, you don't want to do it in a way where you can just excuse yourself, but give yourself grace and remind yourself, hey, I'm trying, but I'm going to do this for me. So it's kind of that, balance with everything. So thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to go? Goals, struggles?
I'll go.
Yay.
I've been struggling with my nutrition really bad. We went on vacation and I gave myself too much grace and ate too much food for my race. And so the last couple weeks I've been having a hard time getting back on track and eating what I'm supposed to. So that's my one main goal this month, is to just focus on nutrition. I've started tracking my food again because I got lazy about that. And yeah, and I'm looking for a podcast or some kind of personal development to read. So I'm writing all these down, and this is some good examples of what I need to look for.
Yeah. I love listening to podcasts. I always recommend that you definitely are reading or listening to a book, because there's a common theme in a book. Sometimes people are like, well, I only listen to podcasts, and podcasts are totally good. I listen to podcasts all the time, but I always recommend if there's something you're specifically struggling in, to make sure you read a book on that topic, because then the podcast is like one and done, but the book has a common theme, and you're revisiting and you're listening to it over and over and again. So I definitely would, pick a book on that. But in terms of your nutrition, do you meal prep? Because I don't know what like your schedule is, but do you?
I struggle with meal prepping because I absolutely hate eating leftovers. And so if I cook something ahead of time, I usually don't eat it and then end up throwing things out. But I do make like my dinner plan for at least 1 or 2 weeks out. So I have a plan of what we're going to eat for meals, and I usually write down some healthy snacks. And I went shopping and got all the healthy groceries and veggies in the fridge today and set myself up for the week.
Good. Yeah. And I always, because I hear that all the time. Like I hate eating leftover food. So my recommendation because at the end of the day, everybody's adults. You're allowed to do what you want. But
Yeah.
meal prepping is the one thing that can make you stick to because when you don't have something and you have to cook, or you have to like make your food, it's so much easier to choose something unhealthy. But if you really don't like leftover food, one, I always say that you have to kind of figure out some foods and some recipes that you are like cool with eating leftover. So first things for me that comes to mind are like casseroles or like chilies, things that go in the crock pot that are kind of just like chili. I mean, maybe if you don't like chili leftover, I think chili tastes better leftover. But like things like that. So maybe you're not meal prepping every single meal every single day, but even if you throw a few things in there, it leaves less variables for you to like make the unhealthier decision. Like I make breakfast casseroles all the time. I have an air fryer, so it makes it really easy. I know like if you're at work, that's one thing. But if you can, and even just Googling like meal prep for people who hate leftovers. Like I've seen on Pinterest, like people make them. There's like something out there for everybody. But just think of those things. And again, remind yourself, like it doesn't have to be every meal, but the more you do that, and you can always, keep things different. You can do like the bulk style meal prepping. So instead of making an actual like meal, you make a bunch of different like proteins and a bunch of different things, and then you get to mix and match it however you want. So it just leaves a little bit more, flexibility.
I like that last idea. Actually sounds much better. But it's funny that you said chili, because I made chili just a couple days ago, and that's what I had for lunch yesterday. I'm trying.
No, that's good. And that's all you can ask yourself. So many people come into the health and fitness world, and they want to go cold turkey and just like do everything, or they want to figure it all out. But like, it's so impossible to do that. So as long as you can say, at the end of the day, or the end of the day or the end of the week, what did I do that helps me move in the right direction? Like, that's awesome. It's not about perfection. It's just slowly making those steps. Because when you see people that you look up to that have their health and fitness goals and they look like they have it all together, they didn't like figure that out in 1 week. It was over time. Like I've gotten to my, body goals only because it's literally taken me like 6 years to get here, because I've slowly been, doing little by little. So just keep that in mind.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else want to share? I appreciate everybody sharing all the things. Let me type in the chat box. Just got a crock pot and I love it. It made meals so much easier. Yeah, crock pot, air fryer. I love my crock pot. I use my crock pot often. And now that I'm going to be moving to Washington, I'm finally going to be able to like make fall things and not be sweating while I'm eating them. But like if you guys don't have an air fryer, like keep an eye on like the Amazon deals of the day. I got mine for $99 and I use that thing 65 times a day. I don't think there's been one day since I've had it that I have not used it. Like it counts as a toaster. Like it warms things up. Like, oh my gosh, I love it. Anyway. All right. Nobody else? Okay. Well, thanks everybody for getting on here and sharing. We do this once a month. So, when I share it, when I post it, get your people on here. If you have anybody in the group, if it's just you by yourself, that's cool. If you made friends with anybody in the group, make sure they get on. It's just nice to kind of hear different ideas. Because even if like you didn't even think you were going to learn something from it, you can always take something from it that you'll be able to apply. So peace out, guys. Hope you have an awesome rest of your night. I'll see everybody, Team Paige, in the group tomorrow. Bye, guys.